So, here are 9 things that has helped me tremendously improve my trading, becoming more profitable, and overall just in a better mental state. Right. Number one, I stopped caring about the money. Now, I know that might seem counterintuitive to a lot of people's ideology behind day trading, which, I mean, we're looking at numbers when we come to the charts every single day. What I mean by stop caring about the money, I stopped caring about trading to make a living, right? To live off of, I guess you want to say, the fruits of my labor. I stopped caring about the money, and I focused a lot of my attention on building, income outside of trading and utilizing trading as a tool to compound my money. And I started to switch my mindset from a trader to an investor. Okay. And the second thing that improved my trading is I focused on what I can control, which is risk management, which as day traders, that's that's really what we control genuinely in the marketplace is the amount of money that we are willing to risk and lose. Okay. So focusing on what I can control, which was risk management. So I really started it was a big mindset shift when I started to come to the market and look for ways that I can lose in the best way possible. Now I know that sounds crazy and once again counterintuitive to what we're led to believe or taught when you first come into day trading is win, win, win. Stop focusing on the wins because the wins I can't control wins, but I can control the amount of money. So if I'm risking $100 on this trade or $1,000 on this trade, that's my risk appetite, right? I can control that. I have no control no matter how quality a setup that I see in the marketplace. Trust me, there's been time and time again where like it's a grade A setup today, but then tomorrow that same setup fails. And I mean, you follow all the rules from a technical analysis standpoint and you have everything right. You think you have your edge. At the end of the day, it's still 50-50, no matter. There's trades that I've taken where it's been really, really, really bad setups. Like quality wise, it was pretty low grade, and I still was able to get out of that trade and win. And so that's what made me realize is that I have no control, no matter what, over the outcome. What I do have control over is the amount of money that I'm willing to lose. And once I changed my mindset to that, man, things start to really click for me. So I wasn't focused on, oh man, do I have a 100% win rate or 90% win rate or 80% win rate? Like it was, there are weeks, there are months, there are days where I do have 80+% win rate. But then there are some days, weeks, months where, I'm break even, so it's just a matter of understanding the market and understanding the ebb and flow of the marketplace. The third thing I also did was I stopped looking up to other traders. In this community, there's successful traders everywhere you turn. I mean, you just go into your phone and you're scrolling through. Everybody is winning. Everybody is living lavish, which is all cool. But I realized that it was not adding value to my life. It wasn't adding value to my trading. It wasn't making me more successful looking at other successful traders or even failing traders for that matter. Day trading trading in general is an individual sport, right? It's not, it's like golf, right? It's an individual sport. Like it's me, my chart, my analysis, my execution, right? It's no one else's. So I say that because I start to focus on myself and my development. That's the fourth thing that I've done is focus on myself and my personal development and trading development, right? So once I started to, hone in on my skills, then things started to take off. Now, the fifth thing that I did was I stopped having unrealistic expectations of the market or weird dreams of flipping accounts, turning $100 into $10,000 and $10,000 into $100,000, whatever it is, right? Like I stopped having those unrealistic goals. And although I've done these things and these challenges for myself, um, it's something that I definitely do not necessarily like pride myself on whatsoever, because all that does is, it's a recipe for disaster, to be honest with you, because you start to get into this, you know, this cartwheel of, just constantly trying to flip an account, and like you blow an account, then you try to flip it again. And it's a recipe for disaster, emotional stress and everything like that. So once I stopped having unrealistic goals of doing this miraculous stuff, although it's very possible, I'm not going to be the one to say that those things aren't possible. I just stopped living to trade that way. The sixth thing that I've done was I started to set attainable trading goals, right? And that kind of, from having unrealistic goals of flipping accounts, like I started to set like very attainable goals to, number one, build my confidence, but then also um keep me in the game, right? And so once I started to set, attainable goals, whether that may have been, making 1%, 2%, 3%, whatever the percentage is. So I just set very attainable goals based off of where I was in my current development. When I first started and I started to flip this switch in having attainable goals, instead of me going for 10% returns on a month, I said, okay, how can I, instead of a percentage at all, how can I just make an extra $100 a month from day trading? And then once I started to accomplish that, it's like, oh wow, I'm doing this consistently now. Pretty much that turned into a monthly goal, and now that turned into a weekly goal. Okay, now you can start elevating your goals as opposed to coming out of the gate saying, oh man, I'm gonna make, 10 grand every single month. Like, set milestones for yourself, right? And so that's what I started to do. I started to set little milestones. So it started off as $100, $100 a month to, and then it went to $100 a week to, how can I make $500 a month to 1,000 a month, and then so forth, right? And so I started to set really attainable goals, and I just was stacking as I was compounding not only my accounts, but also my overall skill set, compounding my skills over time. So the seventh thing that I've done is I stopped putting myself on a time limit, right? I stopped setting, and it kind of all ties into setting unrealistic goals, but like having, unnecessary time limits. It's like, dude, the market is going to be here today, tomorrow, the next day. I'm not in any rush to become, a millionaire necessarily. Would I love to make $1 million in trading tomorrow? If it was possible, hell yeah. Like, I would love to, but I'm I'm not putting a time limit or an exact dollar amount of where I need to be. Number one, I'm not so reliant upon just trading, so that's another thing. which, brings me to like the eighth thing that I started. I started to appreciate the small wins. I started to appreciate the losses as well. So once I started to appreciate my wins, my losses, and really remain even keel, like I'm very stoic in a sense of I don't care whether I win or lose. Like I'm more just it's whatever. Like, I win, great. If I lose, all right, cool. Next setup, right? So like I'm even killed. Like I have the same temperament, I have the same emotional detachment regardless. So I'm emotionally detached from the outcome. I'm emotionally detached from the win or the loss, and most importantly, I'm emotionally detached from the money, the dollar amount. Okay. And when I'm telling you, I trade so much more freely nowadays. When I start to flip that switch, like I trade so much more, like with freedom and just, you know like less stress. Okay, trading is already stressful in itself, but you can add more stress to something that's already stressful to your mind, your body, and everything like that. Is if you start to have, if you're not necessarily appreciative of the small wins or appreciative of your losses. But this also goes back into, the second thing that I said is having a good risk management plan. And so that leads me to the ninth thing, which is I stopped chasing low low reward trades, and I started to hunt high reward trades, low risk, high reward trades. And that's my personality type. I started to really, recognize who I am as a person, and I've always been this way, regardless whether it's been trading or another business that I've been into. It's always my philosophy has always been like, I'm going to, buy low, I'm gonna sell high. Like that's just that's that hustler spirit in me, is that I'm gonna turn, I'm gonna turn this water into wine, like type of mentality. Like I'm gonna take as little as I can to maximize what I have. And so when I started to chase, stop chasing 1-to-1 risk to reward ratios, 1-to-2 risk to reward ratios. Not saying that that's bad. It just wasn't for me specifically. It wasn't my personality type. I know many traders who make a really great living off of 1-on-1 and 1-to-2 type of trades, which is great. It just wasn't for me. So I started to, go after 1-to-5, 1-to-10 type of trades on average, and some setups like will give me a 1-to-20, 1-to-30. And I like those type of trades because once again, it takes the pressure off of myself of having to be right all of the time, which no, there's no one in Forex, stocks, crypto that just they win all the time, right? Everyone has seasons. Everyone has winning seasons, losing seasons. And, that's where for me, I really wanted to put my focus and attention on was to really understand, like, man, if you want to be in this for the long haul, this is what's going to be necessary. So all that to say, if you like this video, please drop a comment. Hopefully this will help someone out there to better their trading plan, better their trading career necessarily. Take notes, drop me any questions, drop me any comments. If you hated it,